Aces on a rampage.
A shot there by Cyrus Baguio.
Surprising 2-0 start.
LA Tenorio! The LA walk down the baseline, and the red machine is up on its feet.
Plan Crew.
Rebound battle. Gabe Freeman goes up with nothing. Wiggins, nothing. Goes up again. Block!
Leading must stop tonight.
The burden is on San Miguel to climb out of the hole. Advance, and he'll get it to go! Slam-a-jamma by Arvin Santos. Young crossover. Dixie-doo. Oh, yes!
Marcela turning back the hands of time.
Oh! Freeman just jamming that in.
Diamond Simpson made a lot of heart.
We're going to stop him.
Survival versus domination.
Surprising is the best term used to describe the Alaska Aces, as Diamond Simpson and the rest of the Aces shoot for a commanding and seemingly insurmountable 3-0 lead here in the best-of-7 finals. But everybody's waiting for an amazing comeback from the San Miguel Beermen. They're waiting for a spectacular performance from Arvin Santos and for Gabe Freeman to really show what he is worth. Welcome to Game 3 of the best-of-7 finals here at the PBA Fiesta Conference. We are coming to you live from the Araneta Coliseum, and because this is the finals, we have an international broadcast team for you today. Of course, we have Jason Webb from Poland, Richard Del Rosario from Spain, and out of Africa, Coach Ronnie Magsano.
Present.
All right. I use the term surprising, Jason. Do you agree with me? Are the Aces really surprising in their performance at this finals?
I think many fans right now are very surprised at what we've seen from Alaska because what they've been through. Alalahanin natin, dumaan yan sa Barangay Ginebra, then they went through Talk and Text, and they went through that in the entire course of that series, and right now, 2-0 lead. But the one person that's not surprised is their head coach, Coach Tim Cohn, because he believes in his players.
All right, let's continue our discussion about the Alaska Aces, and let's take a look at some of the numbers, and we will see here why the Alaska Aces have surprised everyone in their performance in the finals.
Well, Richard, makikita natin dito that Alaska so far, obviously they have more points because there's a 2-game series, they're above, but key numbers right here, the turnovers of San Miguel and the points off turnovers being attributed because of those turnovers by San Miguel. San Miguel's got to do a better job of taking care of that basketball. And the one thing that Alaska's doing well, sharing the basketball and moving it around.
All right, going to the San Miguel Beermen, Coach Ronnie, they came into the series as sort of the favorites because of their talented lineup. And even though they lost the first 2 games, those were close 2 games. What are the strengths of the Beermen that they brought here to the finals?
The rebounding has always been a vital part for San Miguel. And anytime you have the best rebounding reinforcement in the league, therefore you get more possessions in terms of rebounds. If you get more rebounds, then you get more fast break points. Bench scoring has also been vital for San Miguel. But definitely, one problem that they need to take care of tonight is to defend Diamond Simpson. Likewise, who will start for San Miguel? Who's going to come off the bench? There has to be a certain balance in terms of import production and local production, something that we haven't seen over the course of the last 2 games.
All right, and right now, let's go to cyberspace. Let's check out our webpage and what's in store for the Alaska Aces.
Richard, for the Alaska Aces, everything has been going well for them. And these are the things that they have continued to do in this series. They have dictated the pace. But we all know when we talk about pace, it's just not fast break points. Etong Alaska, they have quick players and they choose when to run. And they're the ones that are dictating and telling San Miguel what pace they want to go about the game. Next up, more assists, less turnovers. Para sa Alaska, we know that when it comes to assists, that has been the measure if they're playing a good game or not. When it comes to turnovers, they want to get away from those turnovers because the moment they turn the ball over, makikita natin yung athleticism ng San Miguel, and San Miguel can hit the open court. Finally, continued bench support. You saw a stat a while ago that San Miguel has 32 bench points compared to Alaska's 17. But that only tells half of the story because you have to look at the amount of minutes played by the bench. The bench of San Miguel plays 40% of the total amount of minutes. Alaska's bench only 24%. When you look at points per minute, ang dikit ng laban nila. And that bench of Alaska, if it can stay close to San Miguel, they're winning the battle.
All right, let's go to the other side of the fence and check out what the Beermen should be able to do in order to get their first win in this series.
Well, they have to get something from the point. They have to get to the point. And what I mean is they have to get production from that point guard position. They've already used 4 of their guards. Cabagnot, Miranda, Villanueva, and Racela, and none of them have worked so far in this series. No guard of theirs has averaged more than 4 points this entire series, and someone has to steady the ship. Next up, they have to get Simpson out of his comfort zone defensively and offensively. Offensively, they have to either double Diamond Simpson, show him different looks, double early, double late, single coverage, para mawala ng konti sa wisyo itong si Diamond Simpson. And also, when Diamond Simpson is playing defense, they have to find a way to keep him moving and not allow him to stay in the middle and use his size. Finally, they have to keep Freeman on the floor. He has been saddled with personal foul trouble the first 2 games. He has to be on the floor so that San Miguel can sustain his energy.
And right now, we take you over to the floor for the introduction of the starters here in game number 3.
Number 3, Silas Magino. They also got guard number 5, L.A. Tenorio. Head coach for the Aces is Tim Cole. Now let's meet the starting 5 of your San Miguel Beermen. Starting at forward number 29, Arwen Santos. Also at forward number 25, Dave and center number 23, Jay Washington. And guard number 32, Miranda. And also at guard number 7, Don Ontiveros. Head coach for the Beermen is John Anderson.
All right, and are the starters. And Coach Ronnie, what seems to be lacking here in the Beermen's game in the finals, as nobody expected them to be down 0-2 in this final series?
Jason was able to mention one of the key things that has been absent for San Miguel so far, which is the production from the point guard position. Isama mo na dyan yung struggles dito ni Don Ontiveros as we take a look at the third different starting lineup for San Miguel here in the series. But that always follows. Anytime you lose games 1 and 2, you have to tweak your lineup and hope that finally your starting unit will be able to come out strong.
Well, going into the series, their battle cry was beat LA. And right now, they're putting a defensive specialist on LA Tenorio here in game number 3.
LA Tenorio scored only about 6 points but hit a difficult but crucial runner down the stretch for San Miguel. It has been LA Tenorio who's been running the show, definitely for the Aces. But you have to understand that it has been Diamond Simpson who's been the biggest problem for San Miguel's defense. And defense was the tool used by San Miguel in beating BMEG in the semifinals. Something that they had to think of is a defensive scheme to try and contain Diamond Simpson, both offensive, especially on defense.
I just want to say that, when they started the series, they were saying beat LA. The guards, the LA is not beating the guards right now, San Miguel. The guards themselves are beating their very selves because they're the ones that are not producing their regular numbers.
In the meantime, Jay Washington scoring the first field goal here for the Beermen. Cyrus Baguio being taken by Ontiveros. Here's Tenorio to the cutting Baguio. And a turnover for the Aces. Then of Miranda leading the break. Nice pass inside. Arwen Santos.
This is San Miguel has done something really well all throughout the rest of this conference. Make the defensive stops, push the ball in transition, and score on fast breaks.
And if you're Alaska, these first couple of minutes, these are the minutes you have to control because you know that San Miguel is going to come out strong, and all you have to do is survive these first couple of minutes and then let the game relax after that.
Well, you've also observed that San Miguel has been employing some sort of a half-court press.
Yes, they really need to make that shot clock work in their favor. contest the passes inside the Diamond Simpson, force Alaska to use up more time because Simpson takes about 5-6 dribbles to get from his position deep to the shaded area.
Here's a lead pass to Arwin Santos. Arwin Santos met by Tony De La Cruz, who swipes the ball away. Santos saves it, but he steps on the sideline.
So Tony De La Cruz actually one of the key guys right now for Alaska. Actually, in the series against Barangay Ginebra, he was absent, starting to get some life against Talk and Text, but right now, here in the finals, he's been such a key contributor at almost 10 points a game.
Especially so that Alaska has a very short rotation. Jason only has used about 8 to 9 men on the average as compared to about 12 for San Miguel.
Here's Santos, swings it over to Jay Wash, takes a short jumper, that's off. Denok Miranda, a nice pass, but the ball is tapped. It will stay with the Beermen.
You know, it's actually so loud in here. Hindi ko marinig yung mga pito ng referee.
But you have to like the energy level here of San Miguel. Remember that in game number 2, nabaon sila ng maaga rito sa Alaska and they had to play catch-up basketball, something that paid dearly for them in the crucial stretches of the game. Naubusan sila ng gasolina.
Here's Miranda. Washington now, looking for a teammate. That's down on Devance. Hook shot is up, no good. And a loose ball foul called. I guess it's on Devance.
Washington has been a constant producer of points for San Miguel. Named as the best player of the conference, also a part of the Mythical Five. Probably this is the best conference so far we've seen of Jay Washington.
Another chance here for the Beermen. Inside they go to Freeman. He attacks. And a foul. Let's see who will be called for that foul. On Cyrus Baguio. For a while, Simpson thought it was his foul.
Jason, that San Miguel is trying to establish Freeman early here in the first. Remember that he shot about 4 of 15 in game number 2 and being saddled with personal foul trouble.
And it has been a given in this series that Diamond Simpson is really giving Freeman a hard time. Yes, he scored 30 plus in game number 1.
37.
But when he did that, he really took San Miguel out of its offense because he took a lot of outside shots. Alam natin to si Freeman, he's the type of guy that will scavenge for his points and allow the locals to create, something that did not happen in game 1. And in game 2 naman, miski puntos, hindi na siya nakakuha.
Yes.
There's Cyrus Baguio on top of the key jumper, no good. Rebound! Skying high, Freeman. And Simpson going for that steal. What energy we are seeing here from both sides.
People always recognize the discipline of Alaska's offense, but you have to give it to Coach Tim Cone. Their disciplined defense has enabled them to run with the best running teams in the league. And as a result, they have kept San Miguel 3 or 4 points below their regular season scoring average.
Here's Arwin Santos, 3 ball all the way. Tenorio hounded by Miranda. LA, they go to Simpson, guarded by Jay Wash. There's the early double. And almost a steal. And they complete it. Lead pass to Arwin Santos. Yes!
Arwin Santos playing a huge first quarter. It's all about energy here for San Miguel. Question is, what will Alaska do to be able to stave off this storm?
Bonds all, steals all in a perfect start here for the San Miguel Beermen.
Something that they did so well in game number 1. But right now, the nice thing about it is that defense is showing its teeth here for San Miguel. And this is exactly what Coach Shotang Kinsen is looking forward to. Constant defensive pressure, energy of the defensive staffs to be able to fuel their running game.
And I told you we have an international broadcast pool. Of course, for some local flair, pumunta tayo kay Binibining Leah Cruz.
Nakakatakot kang katrabaho, Richard. All right. The San Miguel Beermen, as we all know, dropping both games 1 and 2. In fact, Coach Shotang Kinsen admitting to me earlier that that game 2 loss was actually not the players' fault. He said it was coaching error on his part, especially in the end game. And as poorly as they're playing now, they're actually not losing by giant margins. So they're very positive. They had a very good practice yesterday. They just have to clean things up a little here, make a few adjustments, get everyone on the same page defensively. Alaska's been getting too many